Today on Cityline, it's Wellness Wednesday and we're managing migraine.
Sometimes medication is really the only thing. It's important, obviously, to talk to your doctor.
Yes.
But there are some other fun things that you can give a shot.
Testing migraine tech.
Right, and also
Right?
if you put this on, I feel like my kids would leave me alone.
Then, don't be intimidated by all the equipment at the gym. We've got a simple solution.
You only need one tool, and we all have one, hopefully. It's a towel.
And later, exploring the hopeful sides of having a breakdown.
There's this quote that I always think about when I think about breakdowns, and it's Leonard Cohen's quote, "There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in."
It's Cityline with Tracy Moore.
Hey, everyone. Good to see you, and welcome to Cityline, and happy Wellness Wednesday, everyone. So today, we're going to take you through a total body workout, and all you need is a towel. That's right, a towel. We're going to help you see the silver lining in your bad breakdown, and we're going to be serving up a delicious dish for the upcoming Chinese New Year. But first, if your headache is taking you out more than your spouse, this next segment is for you. Okay, there are different products on the market that claim that they can give you relief from headaches. We want to test them right now with Candace Batista. Come on in here. Hi. Thank you for doing this.
Hello.
Hello.
When you suffer from migraines,
Yes.
it is next level, I'm sure.
Awful.
You are a sufferer.
Yes.
Tell us about it. How bad does it get?
So for me, migraines are very severe. I usually get a very stiff neck. I get very stuffed up. But I unfortunately have something what's called aura. So my eyes go all funny, and you get this kind of, it's almost like looking through a diamond, which is fun, but not in this case.
Right.
You know, you get this kind of like weird funkiness going. So you can't drive. You have no peripheral vision whatsoever.
Ouch.
And the nausea and sometimes throwing up. So they can be really, really severe. And sometimes medication is really the only thing. It's important, obviously, to talk to your doctor.
Yes.
But there are some other fun things that you can give a shot.
I'm sure when you're in that level of pain, you will try anything.
Anything.
So I'm happy that you've tested these out. So it's 4 different devices. You tried them at home. The first one we're going to talk about is laying in the front, and
Yes.
it is an acupressure mat.
Yes, so
Talk
this
to me
is
about
very
this.
cool. I actually enjoyed this quite a bit. So it's exactly that. So you lie on it. You can
Yeah.
either sit on it or lie, and it has all these little tiny pressure points that are almost like little tiny pricks that
Okay.
you lie on. And it is at first you're like, ooh, that's a little bit uncomfortable. So you'll see it here. It comes in a little bag. You basically just roll it out. Look how cute my cat is.
Oh my God, adorable.
Now I rolled onto it sideways because when I
Yes.
first sat on it, I just sat on it, and it was
Ouch.
like, woo, hello, good
Yeah.
morning. You know, so it's very relaxing on the neck. I did find it took the edge off, but because you have such a big space on your back, you've got lots of little acupressure points.
Yes.
So I did find it really helped my back, my neck, and because the neck gets so stiff, I did find after a certain amount of time it was very relaxing.
Ooh, okay, good. Well, we want to test it out on the show.
Let's do
so
it.
let's get Brent Bishop in here. We're going to be doing a workout later, but for now,
All right.
let's get you, put it right here, my friend, because we're going to get you on the pointy thing. But you're supposed to do it with no clothes on.
Yeah.
So
I
if
had
you could
all my
just-
clothes on. Sorry, Brent.
At least she
Just
kept
open
her
the top
clothes
hat.
on for the tape we shot. But if you don't mind taking it off, so you can feel the pressure points. I promise you, it says this in the directions.
It does.
Okay, so take your time laying on it because I
Yeah.
touch these things. And
Right?
don't do that.
It's actually nice.
Yeah, is it okay?
Yeah. It's prickly,
It's prickly.
but it's not that shocking.
Now, you're not a migraine sufferer, are
I'm not.
you?
Thank
Okay.
God.
If you were to do this, Candace, how long are you laying on that mat for?
20, 25 minutes. And put
Okay.
some soft music on and just let it do its thing.
Yes.
You know, it's very stimulating on the back. I
Yeah.
did find that when I got up, I was a little bit lightheaded. That's me. You know, you're lying down, but it is very stimulating. Like from an acupressure standpoint,
Right.
you're hitting quite a few spots on your back. So just when you get up, you know, roll over, you'll be fine, I'm sure.
It feels.
You could
it
just
feels nice. I don't think I'm
guy.
going to get up actually.
Yeah, I know.
I'm good here.
Trust me,
Maybe
you
we'll
do
just leave
feel
it
it
there
after a while.
But here's the thing: you do mobility all the time, and you know this. When you sit in a stretch, you have to sit there for a while for your body
Yes.
to actually stop tensing up.
You gotta
This is
breathe
probably
into it.
similar. You
Yeah.
have to breathe into it, so it makes sense that you'd have to stay on the mat for a little while. You're liking it.
I'm liking it.
But
I'm
you can
liking
go
it.
now.
All right, all right.
Thank you so much. Give
Thank
him
you.
some love. Thank you. Thank you, B. What a good sport. Okay, Okay, next up, let's talk about a head massager.
Oh, doesn't that sound
Sounds like a
divine?
good thing.
So this is an interesting device. So this comes with a number of settings that you can change. So it fits onto your face the same way an eye mask. So if you're going to bed at night and you're putting an eye mask on, it fits literally the same way. It has a whole bunch of settings on it, so you can actually pair it to music, your own music of choice.
Okay.
So very easy to use. You can turn the music up or down. It also has massages around the temple area. So your forehead, you feel this kind of massage happening, which was actually quite relaxing. And then it also has a heat component to it.
Oh, that's
so
gotta
you
be
lie down.
nice.
So I did find it very soothing on my eyes. A lot of migraines can come from eye strain.
Yeah.
You know, if you're especially if you wear glasses and they're on and off, which mine are on and off constantly.
Yeah.
It can add to that. So I definitely felt it took the edge off.
Yes.
It's a little bit heavier. So if you don't like things on your
me
face,
feel
you
that.
might not love it.
So it's got a little bit, it does have a little bit of
A
weight
little bit
to
of
it.
weight, yeah.
And if you're not an eye mask person, because I just
You
find
might
at
not
night, I
like
know
it.
there's some people that do the eye
can't.
mask and the earplugs. It's like, I feel
Same.
like I'm in a tunnel now.
Same.
It's too much.
Same. I can't do it either.
Yeah, so you have to be okay with the kind of having that kind of a restriction around your eye.
Yeah, and it comes with this little thing, like in case, this little pad, like in case you wanted to put this over so it doesn't dirty the actual
nice.
inside of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely took the edge off, more from a relaxing standpoint with the music. The thing with migraines is that usually bright lights and loud music are not our friends.
No.
You know, so the
So you don't
music,
want the
yeah,
music
so the
on
music
that.
off, but I did find the massage on my temple and around this area was quite relaxing.
Beautiful. Okay, let's move on to this next one. This is called a migraine cap.
Yes.
Just hold that up for us. So,
So
that is like
It looks like a torture
full-on-
device, literally.
It really does.
Right? It literally looks like a torture
Is your
device.
hand like the ponytail coming out of the top? That's
exactly.
where your hair goes?
So this is interesting because you put this in the freezer, Trace, and
Yeah.
it gets really, really cold. Now, I'm claustrophobic. I don't like to be in small, tight spaces, so I did not think that I would like this
Right.
at all.
Yeah.
Here I am putting it on. I actually loved this. I actually
you?
found this very relaxing. It was very cold.
Okay.
So, you know, everything's kind of swollen when you get a migraine. Like
Nice
your
look.
brain is swelling. How is that for a look?
Well,
That's
yeah,
runway
you could
ready.
just get up and go rob a bank
Runway
when you're
ready
done.
right there. So the compressed cold of it and
Yeah.
the taking down the inflammation, I did found that it eased my headache. Weirdly, because I was like, it's not going to work for me at all.
You know,
but
but it
I liked
already
it.
I can feel like the coolness of that and how that
Right?
might be really good
Soothing.
and relaxing and soothing
Very
on your
soothing.
head
It's very
when
soothing.
your head's
yeah, and you can
throbbing.
cover your eyes if you want to,
Yeah.
or you can leave it totally. You can pull it up. But I did find this. Not for like the most severe migraine, but for a migraine where I'm kind of coming out of it, it was very helpful.
Beautiful. Okay, what have we got here?
So this is the Cephaly device. This is a very interesting little device because it hooks up to your iPhone. So when you sign up, you have to basically go through a whole bunch of questions as to what kind of migraines you get, how intense they are, the symptoms.
Yeah.
So it's very intuitive, and you can also share and track all of that information and then share it with your doctor.
That is
It's
good.
good to know when you're getting migraines. Like if
Yeah.
you're a migraine sufferer, it's good to know like how many migraines I'm getting, how severe are them, what are my triggers. So this is going to
Right.
help you with all of that.
Okay.
So here you are kind of signing up to the app, very easy. And then what's really cool about this is that once you've signed up and you've done all that, you then take this little, it's like a little device, and you actually stick it. You want to clean your forehead first, then you actually stick it to your head, and then you turn it on.
Okay.
And what happens is you feel these little tiny it's almost like little electric shocks.
Yeah.
It's not very intense,
Uncomfortable.
but the first time you feel it, you're like, ooh, okay.
There's something happening.
Exactly. What I liked about it is that I could actually track to see how I was feeling, and I could make it more intense or less intense. So you
like
can do
that.
it. It helps you while you're actually having a migraine, like you're in a chronic migraine state, or you can have it as preventative.
Right, and also if you
Right?
put this on, I feel like my kids would leave me alone.
Stick it on my head.
Doesn't it look, stick it on your head? It looks like, oh my gosh, mommy's having a moment,
And
leave her
now
alone.
We're ready.
That looks
Right?
good.
Yeah.
What did you think in terms of effectiveness? Did it
I liked it. Like if you're not very techie, you're gonna have it's gonna take some time to set the app up and to figure out kind of how it works. It didn't take the migraine away completely.
Yeah.
Probably because I was already into it quite deeply.
Yeah.
But overall, they all played a role.
They all took a little bit of the edge off. Of course, sometimes medication is the only way to do it. Now, if you're at home and you're thinking, I want to try some of these migraine products, See that QR code on the screen right now? Scan it, and you can shop the show. We'll give you a link and take you right there. Candace, thank you for
Thanks,
that.
Trace.
Okay, stay tuned. Later in the show, Bryce Wild is going to show us some natural remedies for headache relief. That's coming up. For now, let's go to break. We got more coming up, everybody. Psst, you. Yes, you. I've got a seat in Cityline's audience waiting just for you. Head to cityline.tv/tickets to go behind the scenes with your favorite experts, the chance at great giveaways, plus all the unexpected fun of bringing Cityline to your screens. What are you waiting for? Go click. We can't wait to see you. Welcome back, everyone. Whether you're a regular at the gym or a newbie and you're feeling shy, maybe having versatile equipment to rely on for your workouts is key. Brent Bishop hit the gym to show us some of his faves.
So sometimes you come to the gym and you don't know what to do. You want to get a full body workout, you want to be efficient with your time. Here are 3 pieces of equipment you can use to really maximize your effort and your workout. So one of the most versatile pieces of equipment is the cable machine. I mean, there's so many things you can do here. You have 2 sides, multi-level, okay? So you can put it at any level. You have all these attachments, you know, working your triceps, working your chest. You can isolate, but you can also do a lot of functional exercises. So basically, we're gonna go into a trunk rotation. I'm gonna put this about waist height. We're gonna get a little wider than hip width here, core nice and tight, and I'm gonna exhale, rotate, and come right back. Always keeping my hands in line with my sternum, the center of the chest. So across and back. Very transferable to sports like golf, like tennis, and very effective for the core. So one of my favorite pieces of equipment is the landmine. It's basically a bar, and you have an anchor point. Slide the bar into that anchor point, and there are so many different exercises you can do with this. I'm gonna put a plate on, add a little bit of weight, and this is a full body exercise here, a squat press. So I'm gonna go single arm, a little wider than shoulder width, I'm about 45 degrees with my feet. I'm gonna come down into a squat, core nice and tight, exhale, drive right through, and repeat. So again, you're working your lower body, you're working your core, you're working your upper body, shoulder stability. There's so much involved in this exercise. This gets the job done. I love kettlebells because you can get a full body workout. You can get pretty intense cardio as well, even though it's a strength exercise. So I'm gonna show you, it's called a snatch. So basically from here, I'm gonna start single arm snatch, partial squat, initiate with the legs, okay? I'm gonna come up, drive that weight up above the head. I'm working my shoulder stabilizers, I'm working my core, I'm working my legs. And trust me, if you do 15 reps or 20 reps of this, you're gonna feel that cardio is gonna become on strong, okay? So many different exercises you can do. Again, very versatile because you can scale it down. You can go a little bit lighter. So here's a smaller kettlebell. I'm gonna go into a reverse lunge, pass through lunge. I'm stepping back with my right leg. I'm gonna pass from inner thigh to outer thigh and come right back. So here, again, I'm destabilizing my pelvic lumbar area, my core has to work more. Obviously, I'm working my legs. This is a great piece of equipment to use to get a full body workout.
He's a machine, and he's here with us live in studio. Welcome, Brent. Good to have you.
You're also a machine, we know that.
Yes, we are machines. So you just showed us how we can make the most use of a lot of the equipment. You're exactly right. People go to the gym and they're like, what do I do? And it can be a bit intimidating. This is even better. If you're intimidated at all, you only need one tool, and we all have one, hopefully. It's a towel.
It's a towel.
So you can get a full body workout happening with a towel. When my trainer brings out the towel, I start sweating. I'm scared because you can get a really good workout with these towels.
It's also, don't look at lack of time or time constraints or lack of equipment to hinder your ability to go to the gym or your desire to go to the gym. You only need sometimes 15, 20 minutes. And as I mentioned to you before, it's not about duration as much as it is as about consistency throughout the week.
Yes.
So
you know this as a business person and a trainer. you need to get people doing the thing.
Yes.
You don't want to say to yourself, oh no, I have to do an hour and a half. You don't have to do an hour and a half of
overwhelming.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, do 10 minutes, do 15 minutes, do 20 minutes.
And that
you
will
can get a
increase
good,
over time.
It'll increase, but if there are days when you can only get 10 minutes in, that's okay too.
Totally fine.
Just make sure you do it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what are we gonna do with the towel,
Are you
my
ready?
friend? I think
Okay,
so.
that one's for you.
Yeah.
So first one's just lower body.
Okay.
So we'll have the towel folded up. You're gonna put your right leg on the towel.
Okay.
Okay, so try to keep all your weight through that front heel. We're gonna slide that back leg backwards. And then as opposed
you're
to pulling,
going all the way.
we're going all the way here.
Okay.
So push through the heel. Imagine a string pulling you up to the ceiling and repeat. And again, you can hit that at many different angles. The depth and the
Yeah.
range you do is obviously based on your ability.
Right.
Your knees and so on. But
So you can
great
do
way to train your legs.
side lunge.
Side lunge, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
so
getting
you
some
start
good
to
range of
feel
motion
that
there.
really, really quickly. When we move on from the lunge, where do you want to go?
We're gonna go to the ground. Okay, so we're
Okay.
gonna go into a push-up next. And
Yeah.
again, what I like about the towels is all these are very scalable. So the push-up you can do from the knees. It doesn't have to be from the feet.
Okay.
I'll demonstrate it from the feet to start. So
Okay.
you want your feet about shoulder width or a little wider than shoulder width apart. I'm
Yep.
gonna keep my core nice and tight. Slowly come down, slide forward, and then pull back in. So the benefit of this is, yes, you're working your chest, your triceps, your shoulders, but you're also getting that core, that pelvic stability involved here. You see, look at that, you're
Well, I
killing
can't
the
talk
push-ups
anymore,
here.
so you talk.
No knees for you.
Well, I've got to show off for like 30 seconds, and then I'm
Well, how
going to
long do
go
you
have
think
a
you can
heart
go for with
attack.
this?
Here's the thing. When you have these Apple Watches and you move your wrist like this,
Yeah.
it calls 911. So I'm like, it's
You
okay,
can-
it's just a push-up.
You can change
Let
that,
me
you
make
know.
them go away. Can I?
Yeah, you can change that.
Okay, so anyways, this is a very good one.
Very good one.
And good for different levels as well, skill levels.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can decide on how far you're actually going out with. You don't want to lose form.
Okay, what do you
So
want to do
next one we're going to do is we're going to do a tuck. So let's go back to the floor. We'll have our feet on the towel. If you want to spread it open a little bit, just so it's a
Okay.
little wider for foot position. Okay, so from here we're going to tuck in. You want to draw your belly button to the spine, pull inwards. Hips should go up in the air a little bit. Yeah, and then slowly slide back out. So exhale as you pull in, inhale as you go back out.
Amazing.
I do see your watch.
Right?
Your watch is doing something there.
If the
yeah.
cops show up here, it's my watch. Okay.
But that's great. And again, you can go a little bit less distance based on your ability, but very effective for the core.
Woo, I'm sweating.
Let's hit the back of the
next
legs.
up.
Okay, so you're gonna go lie onto the mat. Let's go this direction.
Okay.
So both feet on top, about shoulder width apart. And let's get your toes to your shins. So we're gonna take the calves out of play here a little bit. And hands are out to stabilize. We're gonna lift the hips up nice and high. And then we're gonna slide those heels towards the hips and bring them right back out while maintaining that hip height if you can.
What are we working
Yeah.
on here?
So we're working the hamstrings, back of the legs, a little bit of the glutes as well.
Ooh, I feel this.
Doesn't take a lot of these.
Nope.
It doesn't take a lot of these to get that burn happening.
So this is often how we use the towel in the gym. It's
Yeah.
often a hamstring situation.
It's a good one. You feel that burn, almost like they're going to seize up after a while there.
Okay, he's
All
not
right.
lying. What do we got next?
So we're going to get into a little partner exercise here.
Okay,
You ready?
I'm ready, I hope.
Okay. Okay, so you take the towel. We're both going to hold on one end. Let's go
Okay.
overhand grip. Get yourself into a partial squat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to resist me as I pull away a little
Okay.
bit. Let me move. Come on now.
Okay, okay.
And then I'm going to do the same as you come back. So as you're doing that, let's keep the hips pretty still. Drive your heels into the ground.
Okay.
There we go. There we go.
Oh my God, give
Yes,
me a little
exhale
bit.
as you pull. Come on, you got it. You got it.
Got
And
it.
again, you would have to do both sides. We'd switch position after 10 to 15 reps.
Okay, that's a good
But you feel
one.
that obliques, right?
I feel it.
Okay, back of the arms. You're going to reach overhead.
Okay.
One in each hand. Yep.
Okay.
And try not to clasp your fingers. Just have them together. You want to have your shoulders, your elbows above the shoulders.
Okay.
I'm going to pull downwards as you pull upwards. So let's see what you got here. Yep, exhale
Okay.
up.
Too bad we're almost out of time.
Tracy's got some strength. She's got some strength.
That's
I'm gonna add a
good.
little more.
Triceps of steel, baby.
But the good thing about this is you can add a little more intensity where the person is strong, and you can ease up
Okay.
where they're having a little bit of a struggle. But Tracy's not struggling at all.
Let's go to break. We got more
Well done,
coming
well
up.
done. Give me one more. Give me one more.
Okay.
Coming up, giving yourself permission to break down.
If you imagine a glass of water, and the glass of water is very full,
Uh-huh.
and then something in your day happens and you get a few more drops in there, it just overflows.
Welcome back, everyone. Breakdowns, they can be awful, they can be messy, and they can make us feel so out of control. But is there a hopeful side to breakdowns? Here to help us figure it out is Sarah Vermont, a career coach, but also a human being. So we want to start, Sarah, by just talking about why breakdowns happen. Why do they happen?
I have a personal theory about this because I
Yeah.
help people with a lot of career breakdowns specifically.
Yes.
I think that we tend to have breakdowns when we have been trying to like hang in there for a long period of time, sometimes with our fingernails, white knuckling it through a situation that like honestly is really untenable. Something that's not getting better, something that's been going on for a while and you sense maybe isn't gonna get better. You just get to a threshold point where like the dam just breaks.
Yes.
So it kind of takes us by surprise when we have a breakdown. Like you might go into work that day thinking it's gonna be a normal day, but for whatever reason, something happens. It's almost like if you imagine a glass of water and the glass of water is very full. And then something in your day happens and you get a few more drops in there, it just overflows. I think there's like that threshold moment with breakdowns.
Absolutely. It seems like it came out of nowhere, but it's actually been building. That cup's been filling and filling and filling, right?
Yeah.
So career breakdowns are so common, as you mentioned, like a breakdown at work, but we don't really talk about them. Why don't we talk about them? And have you ever been through this sort of experience?
Oh, yes. I think we don't talk about them because like it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I think we experience sometimes a lot of shame around it happening, especially if it does happen at work. So like shame that you're not able to be in control of yourself in that moment. Also shame that you don't like have it together.
Yes.
Like on a broader scale.
Yeah.
And so I think they're super common because we're just trying to be professional, make it through the day, make it through whatever situation we're in. And because we're just trying to like hang on, white knuckle it, I think that's why it's so common for us to break down is because there's an unaddressed issue there. I mean, I know that was true for me when I had a big career breakdown like 10 years ago. At the time, I was building a career in academia, working as a professor, which sounds very nice. But
Sounds awesome.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah.
But boy, was it the wrong profession for me, for all sorts of reasons that I won't get into. So on one day, just randomly, when I started engaging in a particular task for my work, I had a very embarrassing public breakdown in the middle of a crowded coffee shop. Like we're talking shaking, heaving, crying, could not control it, like snotty, runny situation. And it was super embarrassing. And honestly, I did feel ashamed of it in the moment. And so I think that's why we don't talk about it, is because we're so out of control and we have some shame around it.
Interesting that your body, though, is telling you all the signals you've been ignoring.
Yeah.
Like you can ignore it all and you can say I'm fine and it's gonna be okay and I can push through and I'm super strong and I got this, and your body's like, nope. And it tells you, actually, no, this is untenable and you can't have even one more drop in that cup. Like you're done, you're full.
Yeah.
So let's say this happens at work and you're feeling embarrassed. And one other thing I wanted to say is we often applaud people for keeping it together.
True.
Right? We, like, as a society, we're like, oh my God, they handled it so well. Didn't they handle it so well? And handling it so well is basically stomping your feelings down and not acting the way you want to act. So, okay, this happens at work. You have a full-fledged breakdown. Would it be right to approach your boss about it?
It depends.
It depends, okay.
So it kind of depends on the relationship you have with your boss.
Yeah.
Right? Like, is this someone who's had your back in the past? Do you trust this person?
Yes.
If the answer is yes, sure, maybe you want to approach your boss. But I think the main factor is like, how safe do you feel with this person? If you feel safe with them, maybe. But that's going to vary from person to person. Like, there are some people who, no matter the relationship with their boss, they might not want to have that conversation until, let's say, they have a plan together.
Yes.
So it's a very personal decision, but it's often relationship-based.
Would it make a difference to you if your boss was a man or a woman, in terms of if you're telling them about the breakdown or getting into it with them?
I really do think it just comes back to the quality of the relationship. Like, I recall when I had my breakdown about 10 years ago, I had 2 bosses at the time. One was a man, one was a woman. And I happened to reach out to the man first because I had a great relationship with him. Again, I think it's mostly about the relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about, like, give us some good news about breakdowns, because we've gone through the shame and you feel like you're falling apart and you're not holding it together. But how breakdowns can actually create an opening in our lives.
Yes, they can. And boy, it is good to remember that, because you don't feel like that in the moment, that's for sure.
Right.
There's this quote that I always think about when I think about breakdowns, and it's Leonard Cohen's quote, "There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in." So you can think of these breakdown moments as like cracking open, and in that moment, something releases. And I don't think it's just an emotional release. I think it's also like releasing the idea of what you thought something was going to be like, or how something was going to go, or the way it was, quote, supposed to be. And you come to that realization and you release the idea that it was going to go a certain way. So there's a real mental component too.
Yes.
And so it's kind of like, okay, you know when you're sick and you know you have to vomit, but you don't want that.
You do
not want to go there.
You just don't want to.
But there's also a part of you that knows you're going to feel better
on the other side
if you just let that happen. It's kind of like that. You have both of those parts of you that you're like, don't want to go there, but I know this needs to happen in order for me to get well afterwards.
Interesting.
I think it's exactly like that.
Okay, all right. So you see the silver lining. What next? How do we, like, what do we do to make sense of all this? What do we do next after the breakdown?
Yeah. Well, I do think there's good news and bad news. So good news first is, because you've had this emotional release and this sort of like change in your mental framework, you have created an opening to think about things differently. Like in the context of like a career breakdown, maybe after the breakdown, you're open to considering a change of some kind when you weren't before.
Right.
And that is very positive, to sort of come out of that place of paralysis and stuckness, to be more open-minded about actually looking for solutions versus just trying to hang on. So that's positive. The bad news is, it's probably going to take a while until you know what the real decision point is. You know what's not working, but you don't know yet what's right.
Exactly. Okay, so you've got to take the time now to figure out what might work.
Yes.
What you can try that's new, and that's also equally scary, but you're getting closer to where you should be.
Yes.
Right? Sarah, thank you so much for that, and thanks for your vulnerability. Coming here and talking about breakdowns and what have you, because we need to normalize it.
Yeah, we do.
The shoving down of emotions doesn't work for any of us, so thanks for that. We're going to see you after the break, everyone. Stay with us. Coming up, natural remedies to combat headaches.
Listen, 50 million North Americans suffer with headaches on the daily. 12%, by the way, of which are debilitating.
Cityline's Wellness Wednesdays is brought to you in partnership with Jameson Vitamins. For everyday immune support, Jameson is here for your health.
Earlier in the show, Candace had put headache relief products to the test. So we now have a double dose of pain prevention for you with Bryce Wild.
Hey!
Good to see you, my friend.
Nice to see you as well.
The headaches, the migraines, they sound absolutely horrible. So you've got some natural remedies to treat and prevent headaches. How common would you say
Listen,
are
50
headaches?
million North Americans suffer with headaches on the daily. 12%, by the way, of which are debilitating. And believe it or not, there's about 150 known subtypes of headaches. So
there's
qualities,
that many?
150. We're going to talk about the top 4 that most people experience. Yeah, but over 150 types, and the way people describe them. We're all different. We're all unique. But starting with the most common, tension headaches. And a lot of folks, I'm going to describe this as a band around the head. And anyone who's got a tension headache knows what that's like, kind of in behind the temples, but this squeezing, tight sensation. And I'll tell you, the issue's not actually in the forehead, it's in the suboccipital muscles. So this starts with relieving the suboccipital muscles. The cause is so simple. Forward head carriage. So we're on our phones, we're at our computer desk.
We're like this.
So it's like head forward, down, crunch. There goes the suboccipital muscles. They're really tight. That's why I love everything Candace said earlier, but I like these little sort of self-massage solutions. So what this will do is dig up nice and tight in my suboccipital muscle. And if I otherwise can't get somebody to do that for me, also hanging off the edge of your bed is really helpful.
Oh, really?
Couple other tips. A lot of folks reach over the counter for acetaminophen. Wrong. It's a painkiller, but it's pretty toxic on the liver, especially for chronic use. If you're going to go over the counter, go for Advil or ibuprofen, thank you, or aspirin, the anti-inflammatories. The issue is really inflammation. Also talk to your doctor or dentist about an anti-bruxer, so a lot of people clench and get tight, the TMJ issue. That tightens the cause. And from the world of natural medicine, valerian. It's relaxing, but then it relaxes the muscles and helps to calm down. A lot of the causes of tension headaches is stress.
Yes, and the
taking
stress
the edge off using valerian. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, good stuff. All right, that's tension.
So
what
that's
other
tension.
kind of
So
headache?
next up, and the most common and debilitating type is the migraine. Usually one side, down one side of the head, behind an eye. It's very throbbing. There's an aura. You often see weird waves in your eye line. You get nauseous, sometimes vomiting. Folks, this looks like healthy food, but you got to be careful. There's all kinds of different chemicals in these healthy foods that might trigger a migraine, starting with histamine in dry foods, tyramine in meats, beta-phenylalanine in chocolate.
Oh, no, not the
and this is a big one, I know, right? And even fermented foods, by the way. Histamine's very high in fermented foods, and tyramine. But here, look at these guys here, cinnamon, almonds,
they look
apples.
Good for you,
they are healthy for you, but if you're a migraine sufferer, look into this because these contain salicylates, which actually may trigger it in the first place. So from the world of natural medicine, here's the really cool science. TMS it stands for transcranial magnetic stimulation. This is a PEMF, or pulsed electromagnetic frequency. A lot of words thrown out there, but at the end of the day, you put these devices on your head and it can regulate the underlying cause of migraines, which is, at the end of the day, a misfiring between the nerves, neural synapses, and the neurochemistry, and vasospasming. So blood will accumulate in the head. Brain doesn't feel anything, by the way. Brain doesn't have sensation. But it'll push against the meninges, this thin line around the brain, and that's where you get the pain.
So what is this loosening up so that the blood can go through?
It's regulating blood flow-ish. Correct, World of natural medicine, here's my trifecta. Magnesium, B6, and 5-hydroxytryptophan to regulate those neurochemicals. Serotonin in particular, blood flow in equals blood flow out. It's not accumulating, pushing against the meninges. From the world of pharmaceuticals, triptans. Kind of similar in bioaction or mechanism of action. This is, of course, prescription level. And we're talking off camera about this. If you're perimenopausal or menopausal, look into hormones. #1 underlying issue.
But get tested so you've got a baseline. So
bingo.
that you know what you need to add to your system.
100%.
Okay, our next headache that we're dealing with.
Cluster. This is like a hot eye pick, but behind one eye.
Well, that sounds
It is
pleasant.
known as the most painful of human conditions, believe it or not. We don't know, other than genetics, why this actually might happen for a lot of folks. It happens to be that with change in temperature and pressure, it's what causes or instigates it. But here's what I find is really cool for cluster headache sufferers. In the world of natural medicine, well, it's not really natural medicine, it's prescriptive, but capsaicin is the active ingredient found in capsicum, or hot chili peppers. This is, by the way, bear spray. This has got 1% capsaicin or hot pepper in it.
Well, that's hot.
The stuff that scientists are looking at, though, is a nasal spray derived from capsaicin at 0.03%. So here's how this works. You spray it up your nose. It sucks. It's terrible. But it's way less painful than an actual cluster headache. So patients will spray it up their nose. And what that does is causes a wasting or a metabolism of substance P. So when you waste the substance P, upon getting a cluster headache, it won't happen any longer. The other little tip, melatonin. They want to look into melatonin. And very last, Tracy, and cluster headaches are not as common as migraine, but here's what I want everyone to know about. The hypertension headache. This is dangerous. This presents like a pulsing, throbbing at the top of the head in this area here. And the cause is elevated blood pressure. If that's the case, you feel it with every heartbeat that you're getting, boom, a head, boom, pain in the top of the head. Blood pressure is too high. Brent already talked about it earlier. Exercise is of utmost importance. Sleep hygiene is very, very important. Making sure you get that deep rested, not just the hours you clock on the pillow, but good, deep, restful sleep. And make sure you talk to your doctor because you may need an anti-hypertension medication for that one.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, we've talked about the headaches before with you, but thank you so much for repeating the treatments because we need this. Too many people suffering. Thank you, Bryce. Let's head to break. We got more coming up. Stay with us, everyone. Really good. Coming up, an authentic recipe just in time for Lunar New Year.
This dish is called Buddha's Delight, and it's something that my grandmother used to make every Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year.
Welcome back, everyone. It is Lunar and Chinese New Year in a few days. So here to celebrate it with a beautiful family recipe is Chef Nick Liu. Thanks for joining us, Chef.
Thank you.
Tell us about this dish and when you would eat it and what it's all about.
So this dish is called Buddha's Delight, and it's something that my grandmother used to make every Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year. It's usually served the day of New Year because New Year's Eve you're drinking and celebrating and eating all these rich foods.
Yeah.
So this is to cleanse the body. There's a lot of really cool ingredients here, things that you would usually kind of typically use just Chinese New Year.
Yes.
Like we have this fat choy.
Okay, so take a look at this because I haven't seen anything like it. Like, what is it? What would you describe that as?
So this is a moss, right?
Okay.
It's a land moss, not a sea moss. So you would have to rehydrate it. It's dried.
Yes.
And it has a lot of antioxidants and vitamins and detoxifying qualities to it. So
does it taste yummy?
It doesn't really taste like much. I
heard an there.
I have some rehydrated stuff here, and it has sort of like a seaweed type aroma.
It's a little, it's fishy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But doesn't really taste much.
But it's good for you.
It is good for you.
Okay. All right. So we're going to taste that, or we're going to have that in the recipe to add to the goodness because you had a good party last night. So we have this. What else do we have that we might not recognize
So
here?
we have some tofu skins. These are a dried product as well. So when you do make this this recipe, you want to be prepared. You want to rehydrate all your stuff a couple hours before or the night before.
Okay.
And then you're just kind of ready. Everything goes into a pan, and you just kind of go. Something other interesting is this lettuce stem, also called saltus, right?
Saltus.
And these are really beautiful, kind of like the color of jade.
Oh, so when you cut them up, they're like this? What would you liken this to? Like, what is this like?
So it has a nice kind of fresh green flavor.
Yeah.
But also has this sort of that same texture as like water chestnut.
Yes.
And typically this dish would have water chestnut, but I'm just replacing it with something kind of interesting and fresh and crunchy.
Very nice.
Yes.
Okay, so I had asked you earlier, why get all of the dry things and rehydrate them? And you said, this is how my grandma did it. I'm doing it the way my grandma did it.
Usually I like to kind of modify things and change things a little bit at the restaurant, not die low.
Yeah.
But this one, we're just going to keep grandma style, right? This is very traditional.
We've got a picture of your grandma and your grandpa
Yes.
because that's where the recipe comes from. And I like the fact that you're keeping to tradition. Look at how beautiful that is. So, and here's the whole family together. Was this around Chinese New Year?
Yeah,
do you think?
This would be around Chinese New Year.
So nice.
You know, once the family gets together, you know, I mean, you do you do like the brothers, you do all the ladies on the side, and every single different combination of photos you can do. This one was
beautiful. Everybody all together, and the little guy in the photo is Chef, which is so cute. Okay, so we are going to make the Buddha's Delight.
Yes.
How do we start?
All right, so we're going to start by making the sauce. This is a really easy recipe to do. I've got some soy here.
Nice.
I'm just going to put it in a bowl. I've got some sweet soy, which is this stuff here.
Okay. Yeah.
And this is salty and sweet and thick, and really gives a beautiful flavor. I've got some cornstarch, which we're just going to throw in there.
Thicken it up.
Thicken it up. And we're going to use the mushroom stock water, right?
Okay.
So we've taken our dried mushrooms, hydrated them, and that flavored water is so delicious.
Yeah.
So we're just going to use maybe about, I don't know, a quarter cup or a cup.
How long are you hydrating everything for? Like, can you do this right before you do the recipe, or is this an overnighter?
This is something that you want to do maybe at least an hour before.
An hour before, okay.
And we got our pan nice and hot.
Yep.
We're just going to boost that up.
Beautiful.
And we're going to get some oil. So I've got some sesame oil. I'm gonna throw some of
Delish.
that in my sauce as well, just because it's good.
Nice. Well, it's got a very distinct flavor, sesame oil, and I love it.
Yeah, it's nice and nutty.
I can't get enough of it. It's nutty, and it's just, you know, good things are about to happen.
Okay, so we're gonna start with our AG, right? Our Asian gear, which is the foundation of all of our flavors. It's ginger, garlic, and green onion.
Beautiful.
We're just gonna throw that in there.
Finely chopped.
Finely chopped, as fine as you can go. And you just want to kind of let that oil, you know, infuse. So you want to do that for about 10 seconds. And what we have is...
I know we spent a lot of time talking about all the ingredients, but they just gave me the 2-minute sign. How are you feeling about 2 minutes?
I feel great.
Oh, you can do this. So we got what, cabbage there?
We got our Napa cabbage and our saltis, right? We're gonna saute that off.
That's right, he's a pro, he's got this.
A little bit of salt.
Nice.
Once we got those things kind of going, I got my mushrooms, which I've sliced.
Nice.
These are puffed tofu, which are really
Those are
great.
what I love.
These are kind of like sponges that just suck up all the flavor.
Do you have to cook them, or can they be eaten like this?
You want to heat them up.
You want to heat them up.
I mean, the whole purpose of them is, you know, that it sucks up the sauce.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
And we're just gonna toss that up, right?
Beautiful.
We usually want to brown that off a little bit, but we want to have some time to put our noodles in here, right? You just want to cut it with scissors. This is how my grandmother would do it.
Okay, good.
Right? She likes to cook with scissors and not many knives.
Yeah. What kind of noodles are those?
These are bean thread noodles. And we're just gonna throw those in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw some mushrooms in here too, just because I like them.
Nice.
They look beautiful.
Well, they're so good for you as well.
And we've got our fat choy.
Yes.
Right? Our Chinese New Year moss.
Okay, antioxidants, get them in there.
Toss, toss, toss.
Beautiful.
And to finish, right, mix up our sauce, throw that in there.
Nice.
And that's going to thicken up with that moss. Actually does a good job of thickening things up.
And that's Flavor Town right there, that
is
sauce
Flavor
you
Town.
made, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of salty, a little bit of sweet all together. Nice.
And that is beautiful. So that's going to go onto the pan.
Just take a look at this plate, too. It's gorgeous. Like, since we're doing tradition, like, isn't that lovely?
Yeah, I think I may have stole that from my grandmother.
Okay, well, that's okay. I'm sure she doesn't mind since we're doing her recipe. We're putting this recipe online as well for you, cityline.tv. Chef Nick Liu, thank you for giving us a little Chinese New Year beauty here. Let's go to break. More coming up. That's so nice. Lovely. Do you want to upgrade your snack game with a convenient and healthy treat? Keen No-Bake Energy Bite Mix allows you to quickly prepare and create your own customizable energy bites using the highest quality ingredients. And I'm telling you this because everyone in our audience will take home Keen's No-Bake Energy Bite Mix. You enjoy that. We spent a lot of time today talking about headache relief because we know so many of our viewers go through this, whether it be a migraine or a headache. Candace showed us some of the, the gadgets you tried. Bryce, you went through all of the things sort of nutritionally and supplements that you can try. We left one out.
We did. You want to see the most beautiful glow-in-the-dark feet you've ever seen in your life? Everyone's heard of the cold dunks, everyone's cold immersion. But if you have migraine headaches, nothing better than an ice bath for your feet.
Baby!
All you're doing is marching up and down. It's going to get the blood out of your head. Absolutely. It works every single time.
So I said to Bryce, I was like, is that going to be painful? He's like, I cold plunge my whole body every day, girl. That's nothing. Thank you to our experts for all of your incredible info and our viewers at home for watching and our viewers here as well. See you tomorrow for Home Day.